Greetings, I am Nirvana Sparkle, and welcome to a very special Kadic Reviews. Why? Because it's taken about a year to get this one done. And it's going to be the first of, I'm hoping, many on this topic. And that being Power Rangers. Now, I've stated previously in a video that I've watched Power Rangers for all 23 of its concurring years. Every episode, in fact. Some of them multiple times. So, when Saban got the license back a few years ago and started airing on Nickelodeon, I was excited that one of my favorite shows since the age of 6 was going to continue forward. Now, one thing that I will plainly disagree with is the fact that Nickelodeon divides these seasons in two, often putting the word super in between each one. Super Samurai, Super Mega Force, which, by the way, worst name ever for anything. And the subject of today's Kadic review, which is Power Rangers Dino Charge and the appropriately named for once, Super Dino Charge. Now, of course, all Power Rangers seasons based on a Japanese and Super Sentai, this one being Crew Ranger. Now, this would be the third season using dinosaurs as our power link. Of course, the first being the traditional Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Now, if every time I say Power Rangers I sound like Lothar, it's because, quite frankly, I just like the way that Grant McFarlane said Power Rangers during that season. Dino Charge is an interesting beast, seeing that Megaforce was widely hated by the Power Rangers hardcore, and for a lot of reasons. A lot of the vocal delivery and a lot of the footage overly relied on the Sentai. And just the plot was just poorly done. And even the legendary battle at the end of it left less to be desired. Now, fast forward a year, and Dino Charge is, well, better than its previous season counterpart. Not only that, I would say it's the best so far of what are being called the Neo Saban seasons of the show. Now, the actors they got were excellent choices, by the by. No, I don't know their names right offhand, so kill me. But I most especially like the performances from Kendall and Tyler, our Red Ranger, most notably. But even the Pink Ranger gets some extra notes. And even the alien known as Keeper. Yeah, he's the main source of the show, as the guardian of the Energems. 10 mystical alien power gems that are thought to hold untold power in the universe. Now, of course, I won't spoil what that power is exactly once all 10 gems are united, because that comes at the very, very end in Super Dino Charge. But needless to say, our friend was being followed by an alien bounty hunter known as Sledge. He's the first and penultimate villain in the series, and this guy's got a prison ship worth of other aliens looking for their escape from their bounties. Bounties from who? a guy by the name of Argonon, who we discover in Super Dino Charge. He wants the inner gems because they will net him a pretty penny, give him ultimate power, and allow him to finally marry his wife, Sandra, who is getting impatient about the whole thing. But when he comes close to getting the inner gems during the time of the dinosaurs, he fails in this. In fact, the meteorites that he was carrying are used Power Rangers lore to cause the extinction of the dinosaurs in exchange for protecting the inner gems. The inner gems thus bonded to the spirit of said dinosaurs found by our modern day rangers. Tyler, looking for his long lost father, stumbles into the town of Amber Beach and runs quickly into Shelby, who happens to be working at the local dinosaur museum run by Kendall. But also two newcomers who happen to be saved by one of the attacks of the sub-villains. Furio Wiley also ends up joining the crew alongside other museum employees. Chase, our Black Ranger from New Zealand, which, by the way, note, Power Rangers is shot there and has been shot there since the year 2010 for the back end of Wild Force, and Coda, who just so happens to be a real-life caveman, transported through time thanks to the power of his inner gem. Now, naturally, the Power Rangers are naturally formed when Sledge finally returns to the planet looking for the gems. They are morphers, being the most unique morphers in the series. And yes, kids, they're guns. The Dino Charge Rangers run their morphers off of batteries known, naturally, as Dino Chargers that focus the energy of the inner gems into our more traditional Power Ranger forms. Unfortunately, unlike the powers in the suits that are impressive, the Zords, however, are not. They more or less connect like Lego blocks. This is the first time that, in my opinion, the Zords have generally looked like toys. Yes, I get it. Power Rangers is a series, much like My Little Pony, meant to sell toys. But it shouldn't be this blatant. Even the way they come together is very toy-like, although the way they are controlled is very similar to Jungle Fury, and even some kind to Time Force or Samurai. They're controlled very well, and their special attacks are impressive. Although only the first three, the Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, which happens to be with the Pink Ranger, and our Stegosaurus come together to form the actual Megazord. The other two Rangers make up the attachments, one being a sword attack and the other being a long-range gun. But here's where the show breaks from tradition. Not only Coda, the caveman, being a link to time, but the sixth ranger, Ivan, is a knight flung from time with the gold inner gem. He's got his own Zord that is actually cooler than the Dino Charge main Zord, and hosts the pterodactyl. Even talks in medieval speak, so you know what time period he comes from. But this season also owns a dubious record. well, in my thoughts, dubious, as the Ranger season with the most Rangers ever. There are 10 active Rangers. Kendall, of course, becomes our Violent Ranger, our second female. Tyler's dad gets discovered and is the Aqua Ranger. There's a Silver Ranger that is connected to Ivan's direct royal bloodline, in which he protects, known as the Kingdom of Xandar. There's an alien, sort of like Doggy Kruger in SPD, that makes up the last Ranger, or Silver Ranger. Let's just say there's a lot of Rangers, but all of them get their standout Zords, their standout moments, and solid character build. However, not all the villains share in that same character build. Sledge is pretty much your run-of-the-mill bounty hunter that once the Rangers start beating his ass every week, starts running into the mundane Power Rangers villain tropes. It's only when he is thought to have been destroyed at the end of the first half of Dino Charge that a more interesting villain shows up, by the name of Heckle, who, much like his name implies, has a much more ultimately evil other half by the name of Snide. And yes, if this does sound familiar to Anton Mercer and Mesogog, then you hit the nail right on the head, kids, because it's the exact same deal. Heckle is actually good. He's not actually bad. Snide is all the way bad. It's only when Argonon is introduced that we figure out the reason why. The dark, evil Energem. But unfortunately, the evil dark Energem arc is short, over way too quickly, and poses no real threat at the end of the series, barring the setup to Sledge's ultimate return and final plotline. It just doesn't work out long term in the end. In fact, you have more intrigue with the character of Furio possibly being Tyler's dad in the first half than you do in the accordance of this. It's just a majorly big letdown. And plus, not all of the Rangers are used frequently. 6 of them are used more frequently than the others, which kind of puzzles me because Kendall acts as both base commander and as Ranger, but she is hardly ever utilized once she gains Ranger power. Yes, a lot of it is based on the Sentai footage, yes, but by and large, this is the time for the American studios to bone up and make some original stuff, like back in the Mighty Morphin days. That way characters could be more utilized. The special armors and weapons are impressive, with Dino Steel being a simple armoration increase for early in the season, all the way down to the Battleizer-esque as T-Rex SuperCharge. That comes with its own morpher. And, unlike Battleizers of the past, the T-Rex SuperCharge takes more of a Megazord meets Battleizer effect, making other Rangers' Dino Chargers usable for sub-attacks and sub-effects. Also, Tyler gets a unique weapon in the Dino Spike, which takes all the other Rangers to launch him in the orbit to defeat the enemy. The morphing sequence is actually impressive impressive to see, and some nice use of CGI work, although later in the season, all the morphs are quick cuts. But it's all done very well. The theme song, however, I have to give props to. Unlike Samurai and Megaforce that are pretty much redos of the classic Go-Go Power Rangers, this one actually has unique lyrics that link to the season but still have the traditional Go-Go Power Rangers in the back end for the modern seasons to connect it together. The backbeat for the music is almost tribal in attitude and focuses very well with great start sequences to boot. So that's also a plus. Plus, although the Megazords may connect to Goofy, their actual attacks are impressive. And all Zords are used very, very well. And this is one of the few seasons where all the Zords make it through. Yes, you have the traditional base destruction, which is very similar to Ninja Storm in a good way, but the base has a very simplistic, very down-home lab look, without getting too much in the way. It's not too flashy, and you don't see it all too often. The only other major debate would be the ending, seeing that it's pretty much a time paradox. I'll just leave it at that, which will leave you scratching your head. Dino Charge is the best of the modern day seasons, although it doesn't stack up to its previous Dino counterpart in Dino Thunder or some of the greater seasons. I'm just glad for once that Savins finally got a season with a solid foothold and would be a solid rewatch. Although there are 2 clip episodes, if not 3, so be mindful of that. And some of the plots are majorly overly simple, and of course there are plenty of filler. But when the action is good and the banter is on point, it's a great traditional Power Rangers season that was a joy for me to watch. And to be honest, I can't wait for later in January when we start the process again for Power Rangers Ninja Steel. Maybe the best name of the modern seasons. But for right now, I give Power Rangers Dino Charge and Dino SuperCharge a recommendation of about a 7 out of 10. It's not exactly perfect, but when it does work, it works very well, and for the most part is very entertaining. Although there will be some things that you'll be left scratching your head or feel that they were massively underutilized. So, if you're a Power Rangers fan, leave comments down in the section below and tell me what you thought of this upcoming season. And also, I'm going to throw this at you. If there's any previous seasons of Power Rangers you would like me to review, also leave it down in the comment section below. And yes, Mighty Morphin is acceptable. Just, if you're going to use that, tell me which season you would like me to do in terms of that. Also, at the end of the video, follow the links to hit the subscribe button so that we can get above 108 and check out our previous playlist. So, until next time, find peace in your own nirvana, and thanks for watching.